Hi there. Thank you for tuning in to the Introvert Dating Success podcast and video show. I am your host, Harry Wilmington, and this is the show where we teach introverts just like you how to attract women using your natural introvert charm while still getting your precious alone time. For those of you that are listening to this on the podcast, yes, this is now a video show as well. You can go to my YouTube channel, which you can find by going to introvertdatingsuccess.com and clicking on the YouTube tab, or you can just go to YouTube and type in Harry Wilmington, Introvert Dating Success. Anyway, so for today's show, this is kind of a relaunching because I recently relaunched my new site. I had to put it back together after the last one got breached by security and got infected and all that stuff. So now I have my new site up, putting up new shows, and I wanted to start off with a show called When a Breakup is Not a Breakup. And I wanted to talk about this specifically because of all the messages and letters that I get from guys, the number one question I typically tend to get is something akin to, hey, how do I get my ex back? She broke up with me or I broke up with her, and now I want to figure out how to get her back. And so later on this month, I'll be putting out a program called How to Get Your Ex Back or something akin to that. But I wanted to talk today about the fact that just because a girl appears to be breaking up with you doesn't always mean that that is the case. What do I mean by this? As much as men get talked about for not having good communication skills and not being able to divulge their feelings, it turns out that there are women out there that also are not that great at coming to their guy when they have certain grievances. And so what can happen is there can come a point where either, let's say you've been dating a girl for a while, but you're not quite boyfriend and girlfriend, or you are boyfriend and girlfriend and things have kind of gotten to a lull. Well, as the guy, you're thinking to yourself, well, she's not saying anything and I don't hear any complaints from her. Therefore, our situation must be great. I must be doing everything right and there's nothing to worry about. Unbeknownst to you, the girl that you're dating or the girl that you've been in a relationship with is slowly over time starting to pick up things that she's not comfortable with. Whether it's like, you're saying certain things too sarcastically, or she's bringing certain requests to you like, hey, can you take out the trash, and you're not doing it, and it's getting to be more and more of those kind of incidents, or whatever. Sometimes a woman just over time, if she sees that her guy's not being manly enough or is not taking charge the way that she wants him to, she can start to feel a certain way. Now, again, you're thinking to yourself, she could just voice this to me if there was a problem and we would have a conversation and things would be totally fine. But sometimes women feel as though they have been communicating this stuff to you in their way. Now, women typically tend to talk to each other in ways that is more implying things or using passive language. So, for example, if that's why a lot of times if you ask your girlfriend or the person you're dating, hey, what's wrong? And they say, oh, nothing. You now know that obviously that means that something is wrong, but they're not telling you. But why is she saying nothing? Because in the world of girl, another girl would hear that and know that means that she really, really does want to talk about it. She just needs to be primed like 3 or 4 more times before she finally brings it out of her. Okay? And so what will happen is a girl will have been saying things to you over time that you're taking as just passive thought. Like you're thinking it's not a big deal. If she says, hey, babe, the trash is really full, you're not knowing that means, hey, take out the trash right now. So you're just thinking it's just random commentary and she's fine. So as little incidents like that build up, she's thinking to herself, well, I keep hinting to him and implying that these are things that I want or things that I'm not getting, but he's not doing anything. And now I'm really unhappy. Now you're thinking to yourself, why does she just come out and say that to me? And the reason is because for a woman, saying something like that is so direct that it's too powerful. In the world of girl, if another woman were to come to another woman and say something like that, like, hey, you really hurt my feelings, it doesn't just come off as, oh, you hurt my feelings. It comes across as, you're trying to destroy my world. And so that's why women don't typically talk that directly as it pertains to those kind of things. But here's the thing. Because she's not doing that, she's still going to try to figure out a way to make you have a conversation with her that's going to make her feel better. And this means in a variety of different instances, whether it's like, say you've been dating a girl for like 3 or 4 months and you haven't officially made her the girlfriend yet. Now she's thinking, okay, He hasn't made me the girlfriend. I don't want to just come out and say, I want to be your girlfriend. So I have to now do or say something that's going to rock his world just enough to make him want to have that conversation. Or if it's somebody you've been in a relationship for a long time with, they might say, well, he's not been making me happy. So you know what? I need to do something that's so devastating. He's going to recognize that it hurt my feelings, and he's going to want to make this right so we can continue on with our relationship. Now, as a guy, that probably sounds really stupid. And I'd really like to say that that is, in fact, really, really stupid. But I have to give a little leniency to women because women also know that guys have egos. And we do not take bad news very well. Oftentimes, in a woman's experience, the few times that she's gone to men that she's dated in the past and said something directly to him that was indicative of, hey, you're hurting my feelings. Hey, I don't like this. This needs to change. The reaction most women get is akin to a very, very harsh pushback. Oh, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. I do this and this and that for you. How dare you say I'm not doing anything? You're just being crazy and ungrateful. So after a couple of those instances, is it any wonder why a woman is not going to want to be as direct as possible when coming to you with a grievance of hers? So here's how it's going to happen, guys. And I'll give you a little example of something that happened to me once, okay? So I was dating a girl one time, and we've been dating for like 6 months. She was my girlfriend. And I just noticed that over time, I was starting to feel less attraction, just various things going on. I just wasn't feeling it anymore, but I was still in it to win it, so to speak. So we went away for the holidays with each other. We visited each other's families in different states. And as the time progressed, it just wasn't feeling the same way. And on the way back home, we kind of had an argument on the plane, and it was whatever. So when I got back from the trip on New Year's, I was very much in the mode of like, I've been around people nonstop because I'm an introvert, and I've been around people between her, my family, her family for like 2 weeks straight. I hadn't had a break to myself. So all I wanted to do was have 3 days to myself when I got back. When I got back to California, one of my best friends hits me up, and he was dating this girl at the time. And he was like, hey, me and my girl are going to Vegas. Do you want to come? And I was like, no, I don't. I just got back from a vacation, and I was around people for 2 weeks, and I don't want to really see anybody. And so he said, well, I have a timeshare, and the timeshare is booked with 2 rooms. So it's basically like you have a room here and a room here next to each other side by side. So me and my girl are going to take this other room, and then there's just this room with nobody in it. So if you want to get your alone time for a couple of days, you can come with us, and then you can be in the room. If you decide to see us, that's great. If you decide not to see us, then it is what it is. And as an introvert, the ability to be able to go on vacation to a nice place, not pay for it, and have time to yourself, I wasn't going to turn that down. So I went out of town. In the process, I did not tell my girlfriend at the time that I was leaving town because I hadn't expected to see her for 3 days anyway, because I had already told her I was going to be gone for 3 days. So during this time, though, I was living with my cousin, and my girlfriend, while I'm out of town, hits up my cousin and asks about putting together plans for my birthday, because my birthday was going to be the very next weekend. At which point my cousin said, oh, well, Harry's currently out of town, but he'll be back, I think, Monday. She was not happy to hear that. Now, I didn't get a message saying, I'm not happy to hear this. Instead, what happened was, I think I got to Vegas on like that Thursday. On Friday morning, I wake up to a text that simply says, hey, I don't think this is working out. I don't feel like we have the same connection, and so we should just call it quits. Now, at the time, and keep in mind, guys, we're very literal people, right? So when I read that, what I read was, hey, this isn't working out. I don't feel we have the same connection, so I'm out. Which means to me, she's gone, she's done, it's a wrap. And I'd gotten to a point in my life where I recognized it's not a really good idea to try to chase after somebody that doesn't want you. There's so many women that get harassed after breakups that it's just, I don't want to ever be that guy. So I simply texted her back 2 words. I said, okay. And then I rolled over and back to sleep. Now, during that weekend, I was kind of like partially feeling bad, like, oh, I can't believe she broke up with me. But the other part was like, but I kind of wanted to break up with her anyway. So my ego is more upset that she did it first versus me. But this is kind of where I thought things were going to go anyway. And I left it alone. That was that. I got back from the trip and I was, at my apartment, and I had a good birthday with my friends coming over. And like the day after my birthday, this girl hits me up. And I had been holding a couch of hers, and so she hit me up to say, hey, just wanted to coordinate when I can get the couch back. And I was like, okay, that's fine, whenever. And then she hits me up with, hey, so we should like meet up for lunch sometime. And I was like, why would I do that? Like, as far as I know, we broke it off. That shouldn't be happening. And so she really, really pressed that she wanted to meet up for lunch and kind of have like a closure talk or whatever. So I said, fine. So I went to go meet her for lunch on her work break, and we had a discussion. And during that discussion, it was a very eye-opening thing because she mentioned the text, and I said, yeah, I got the text. I thought that meant we were done. And she said, well, no, I sent that text because I thought that it was going to have you feel some kind of thing, and that you'd really see how hurt I was by what you were doing, and that you would then hit me up and ask me, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about this. And then we would have a conversation, and then we'd still be dating. This is literally what she said. I'm paraphrasing, but this is literally the idea that she set forth, was that she sent that text as a means to get me to reach out to her to have a conversation. And then I had to look back and realize there have been other times when this has happened where like I was dating a girl and then she's, hit me up and say, hey, this isn't going to work out, or hey, I feel as though we're two different people, or we're in different places in our lives, or you want different things than I do. And I'm reading all this stuff literally thinking the literal translation of this is that she is no longer interested, and that if we have differences, clearly if we have differences, we're not going to see each other. Clearly, if you're saying that I've hurt you a lot and that I don't want to see you anymore, this means I don't want to see you anymore. So what I've realized is this: when a woman is talking about breaking up, you really have to analyze where you're actually at with that person, and then see if the words that she's saying are really a mask for other things that she's actually feeling and wanting. Okay? Because just because she sends you a text saying, hey, I've really thought about stuff and I think that we should see other people, does that actually mean what it means? Now, with that said, you don't want to fall into the trap of not believing that that's not a thing, because there are women, as weird as it sounds to believe, there are women out there that will legitimately say to you, if they're not feeling anymore, hey, I'm not feeling this anymore. But regardless of whether the woman means it or not, your reaction has to be the same every time, which is this: you do not want to be the guy that responds to her by begging and saying, no, I really do like you, please don't leave me, you're my world, I love you, let's make this a thing. Because if you react that way, regardless of the scenario, you lose. Let's say the woman was using this as a tactic to try to get you back. So she sends you a note and says, hey, I think we're feeling different things and, we shouldn't see each other anymore. Let's say she's using it as a tactic to get her to talk back, okay? If your response is, no, baby, wait, what can you do this? I mean, I love you so much and please don't leave me. You're the best thing I've ever had in my life. Oh my God, blah, blah. You may think that all that begging and pleading is going to make her realize that you actually do care for her. But the problem is now it's also giving off a negative behavior. It's giving off the behavior of somebody that's needy, that's desperate, and does not think he has enough value to get somebody else. Okay? Now, let's say you do that with somebody that definitely was trying to break up with you. Now you're just giving her the reason that she broke up with you in the first place. See, this is what I was talking about. He's always needy. He's always on me too much and whatever. So your response either way has to be of a guy that is cool, calm, collected, and above all, is going to let her do the thing she has to do. Now, this doesn't mean you have to say something like, well, fine, be that way, you stinking, you know what, and I didn't care about Bob. No, none of that, okay? Simple response. You let her know that you recognize what she's saying to you. You let her know that you don't necessarily agree, but that regardless of whatever way she's going with this, you wish her nothing but the best, okay? So let's say she hit you with that thing again where she hit you with the, hey, I think we should see other people. This isn't really working out. I don't think we have a lot in common anymore. Simply hit her back with something akin to like, well, I don't really see it that way, but if that's how you feel, then I have to respect that. And hey, if you decide to change your mind in the future and I'm still available, then hit me up and we can talk. Best wishes. Keep it short, simple. Now, you on the inside might be dying. You might be like, oh my God, this girl is my world. Oh my God, what is she doing, this and that? But you don't actually know yet for sure if all of her feelings for you are gone. So, because you don't know that, you can't play your card as if that's the thing and that you got to now try to like backpedal this thing up by overindulging your feelings towards her, okay? Always stay calm, always stay cool, always stay collected. Now, if you send that to her, she might reach out a few days later and say, hey, so this wasn't a breakup. Like, I really want to talk to you. Let's talk and sit down. And I just had some things that were bugging me about what was going on in our relationship. Or in the case of a girl that you're dating, it could just be something as simple as like, she was thinking you'd be in a relationship and you hadn't brought it up. And by the way, I have a program at my website. It's called my top secret dating blueprint. And in that video course, I actually talk about one of the ways that you go about getting to the point where she becomes the girlfriend. And that is, in fact, waiting to when she says, hey, what are we? Are we a couple? What's going on? And most women that like you and have been dating for a while will, in fact, say those words. But a few women that don't know how to communicate well will instead try to pull this breakup crap as a means of really trying to see where you're at with your feelings for them, okay? So, like I said, either way, you got to remain calm, cool, and collected. And she might come back and say, hey, let's talk about some stuff or whatever. Or, hey, I was just trying to have a conversation because I didn't know where you were at and we're just still dating and you haven't claimed me as anything yet and I didn't know what was up with that. And then that leads into various conversations you can have whereby either you make her the girlfriend or you repair the relationship, okay? But you got to be the one to keep your cool. She can be the one that's overly emotional and that is like not always sure of herself and sometimes is insecure to where she has to do these certain things to try to get attention from you, but you can't be that guy. You have to be the steady rock because she ultimately wants a partner that is going to be more steady and more secure than she is, because both of y'all can't be insecure. In fact, this could very well be a test to see how insecure you are, but you got to make sure at all times that you're showing that you are in fact a calm, cool, collected guy, that you do care for her, and that if she's trying to break up with you, hey, you know what? I don't agree with whatever you said, but I'm going to respect you as a woman, and if this really is what it is, then that's fine. If you change your mind, hit me up. If I'm available, that's great. We can talk, but I know I still ultimately want nothing but the best for you regardless. Okay, you always want to have a positive spin on your outlook for her. Whether she's decided to be with you or not, you always say, I wish you nothing but the best. I want all the happiness in the world that you want, and if that means not being with me, then so be it. So hopefully this helps you out, because I understand as an introvert, it can be very, very hard to have all this stuff in your mind when a girl that you really, really like or that you've been with is suddenly starting to do things that indicate she's not interested. Because as an introvert, we bond to people, and once we bond to them, it makes it very, very hard to let them go. So if that's the case, I know it's gonna be hard, but you gotta make sure that you're not like exploding all your insecurities onto a girl, thus giving her proof as to why she sent that note in the first place. Anyway, that's all I got for today. For more of these podcasts and for more of these videos, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com. Also, go to the website now. If you like the material that you heard in this, I have 2 really, really great programs at my website that are going to help you expand your dating life as an introvert. The first one is my Smart Digital Dating Program. It's the ins and outs of how to do online and phone app dating. Everything from setting up your profile to knowing what messages to send, how to look for girls on these platforms, and ultimately how to get them to say yes to a date. My other program is called the Top Secret Dating Blueprint, and this is the A through Z's of how to do everything from meeting, greeting, dating, and getting into a relationship with the girl of your dreams in the span of 90 days or less, okay? Both of those programs you can get more information about at my website, introvertdatingsuccess.com. Lastly, if you have a question that you'd like answered on this show, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com/contact and you can write me a message. I get a lot of messages, so it'll probably be a couple of weeks before I get a chance to get to it. If you want your message answered faster, I highly recommend signing up for my premium coaching. It's a one-on-one coaching phone call or Skype session. There's various pricing options for that'll fit for your budget, but you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com/coaching for more information on that. That's all I got. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.